We move over to Chuck Crosby over at the Crosby Law Offices. This is a tough one, Chuck. Ann wrote us, she got a divorce 20 or so years ago. She sends us an email. She says the ex-husband is still living at the house. The divorce decree did not state whether she gets ownership of the house. Meanwhile, Ann's been paying for upkeep on the house, including a new fence, roof, HVAC, and now she wants to sell the house and wants to keep the money for the sale of the house since she's been paying all the bills. She's wondering, is that even possible? Is there anything, a divorce decree, that gives her the possession of the house, if it's not listed in the divorce decree? By the way, she says the house is still in both of their names. They're on the deed. Thoughts?
My thoughts are this should have been handled, you say 20 years ago?
20 years ago, yeah.
Yeah, 20 years ago is when that should have been handled. The key thing to remember out of all this is, that judge's decree is good. Judge's order is good until it's overturned or canceled or whatever. The thing is, it's good between the parties. Okay, so as between the parties, she was entitled to all kinds of stuff, but that doesn't change the rest of the world. So let's say that the mortgage on the house, the judge says he has to pay it. Well, that's between her and the ex-husband. The bank doesn't care one bit what the judge says. Judge can still go after her for the mortgage. I'm sorry, the bank can still go after her for the mortgage.
Right?
Right. The judge's order only relates to the two parties that are in front of the judge. Now, if he's not complying with what the judge says, she just reopens the case, takes it back in front of the judge and says, hey, judge, he's not following the order. Make him follow the order. And that's how that works.
20 years later, is the judge going to be around, you think? Or
that judge isn't going to be around. But like I said at the beginning, the order is good until it's either overturned or released or whatever. So subsequent judges can come in and take a look at that.
Okay, good. And can she hire some sort of attorney to go back and look at the decree? Is that ever able to be done?
Well, yeah, the decree is, going to be, you can get that. They have copies of these things that they don't ever get rid of. But I would go back to the original divorce attorney. If not, there's plenty of divorce attorneys out there that would be more than happy to take a peek at that kind of thing and, guide her through the process. But he's going to come up with all kinds of arguments saying, hey, our course of action over 20 years suggests that we had an agreement between ourselves that is supplemental. So just because the judge says he owes you X, well, if the two of you agree that I'm not going to collect that, you keep it. That's perfectly binding.
Got it.
That's why this stuff just needs to be done at the very beginning. When I was teaching, the first thing I always kept in mind is you can always be really tough and then let up. You can't not be tough and then get tougher. You got to start tough and then let up. So anyhow.
If you want to see a rebroadcast of today's show, both video and audio, you can go to LouisvilleAnswers.com. That's LouisvilleAnswers.com.